Every now and then, certain anime will have TV premieres with censored footage. Usually, by the time it gets released in America, the content has been restored to its original, uncut format. Back then, you had to spend extra money to see the uncut stuff, but not anymore. But today, I want to dive into the censored imagery, and why not start with the anime everyone knows about, such as the Fist of the North Star prequel, Legends of the Dark King. And obviously, that was sarcasm. No one really knows about this show, especially when it came out in 2008. Who watches anime from the 2000s? I think it's just me. I surround myself with the past so I can tell you about it. When this anime was licensed by Sentai Filmworks in 2009, the series name was changed from the original Den no Hao Hokuto no Ken Raoul Gaiden, and because of that initial title, I was able to find footage for my video. Thank you to Mr. Mustang 2910 for preserving these TV edited episodes. In a way, this is considered lost footage since it's no longer available in retail or streaming form. I thought this might be a fun look at the past, so here's a compare and contrast of anime censorship, Legends of the Dark King. The series ran for 13 episodes, and to be honest, I don't know if I caught everything. There might be some scenes I overlooked because the approved violence is questionable, such as episode 3. The scene that's edited refers back to the 1984 anime adaptation of Fist of the North Star. In that show, the blood will sometimes change to black or white, and sometimes you get the natural red. In Dark King episode 3, Raoul fights Habaki of the Talon Fist of the South Star. The outcome ends in Raoul's favor by making Habaki explode, but the blood is white. In the DVD/Blu-ray release, the blood is left unaltered in red. From what I recall, I think this is the only time white blood is shown in the edited version. Or maybe I did miss something. But what makes it odd to me is earlier there was a scene where an arrow goes through the king's head. Also, some bones are exposed in this death. It seems redundant to censor the blood when there's other graphic material, especially when episode 1 featured these attacks. Manly!
Cassandra is the perfect prison. None who pass through these doors leave this place alive. That is the legend of Cassandra. And that is the legend of Uyghur!
Episode 4 takes place at the prison Cassandra, and to my surprise, these chain deaths by a Uyghur are left intact. This is gonna get weird later on, trust me. So in this episode, there's a flashback sequence featuring a castle riddled with death traps, and of the 3 pictures shown, only one image is censored, being 2 decapitated men via a swung spike ball. The TV airing simply shaded the violence. Again, this looks odd because there's clearly a severed head in another image.
Just a flesh wound.
Episode 7 is the debut of Ryuga of the Lone Wolf Star of Sirius, and all of the censored violence is his doing. Using his swift fist, Ryuga can peel skin with cold air. I was expecting the skin grafts to be removed, but it's unchanged. What is affected are a few seconds of flying limbs which are blurred.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary. 'Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your arm's off. No, it isn't.
Lastly, there's a scene where Ryuga uses a sword to cut someone's head off. The TV once again relied on the shading technique to hide dismemberment. Episode 8 is more of the same. Ryuga and Reina send body parts flying which are blurry. You know, this was allowed in the 80s with Toei Animation. Granted, not every shot was clearly visible, but whenever Rei or Ryuga chopped someone up, you could see a lot more. In 2008's Dark King, it's just intrusive, especially the next one. Another scene in episode 8 features the same thing, but this time, it's a bit aggravating or funny. When Ryuga fights against Igor, the Lion King. What? Ryuga effortlessly slays him, but Igor's head keeps moving. So the TV had to really blur this out, and this edit will take you out of the scene. More so when Soga starts displaying Igor's head Conan the Barbarian style. This is very self-explanatory. Actually, I don't have to say anything, I could just show you.
We'll beat them all to hell!
In episode 11, it's the return of blurry visuals as two Swallow Fist of the South Star users kill two of Raul's men with relative ease. That was pretty lengthy to say. The victims' torsos are blurred, but back in the 1980s, Toei Animation was able to show these things. Times have certainly changed. Times, like eggs, are hard. Towards the end of episode 11, another one of Raul's guards falls victim, but this time to Yuda, and his death is blurred in both versions? You can see his eyes in the Sentai Filmworks release, but not so much on the broadcast version. Once more, the 1980s show could do it. But enough of this and that, and on to the finale, that is episode 9. Episode 9 features some torture that somehow was approved by the censors. To get this out of the way, there is reused animation of the flying, blurry body parts, but the real fruit here is a scene that the original 1984 anime couldn't do. In the canon, there's this main villain named Yuda, who had a harem, but he was so narcissistic that he wanted his women to be absolutely perfecto. But when one of them has a scratch, he loses interest in her and... oh no. In all media, this grape scene is never visually shown, but the 1984 anime dismissed the message altogether and changed it. So it wasn't until 2008 that this manga event was shown with greater accuracy. But there's more. The slave Isabella continues to be tormented with what I guess is the removal of her toenails. Nothing is shown on screen, but the scream she makes it terrifying. By showing the audience all of this, the one censored moment in this entire episode seems so insignificant by comparison. Can you guess what was censored in this scene? Yeah, that little slash neck was too much, but everything else, oh, that's okay. Later in the episode, there's two guys who get stabbed in the eyes and the neck, but that death via slit throat, nah, that's too violent for TV. And that concludes our broadcast. Support me on Patreon, please. I need the dough. Life's been taking its toll the past few weeks, hence the lack of activity and delays. More news on the channel status will be given on a later date. I'm not sure what the next upload will be, but I hope you come back to see it. I'm the Anime Hero, and maybe someday I'll start using my real name. I don't know, but I talk about anime so you can enjoy it.